welcome to Dusty Shelf, and welcome back to my new railway build. So had quite an adventurous week. Spent a lot of time out here and not a lot to show for it. A little bit messier on the main board, but one of the problems I have fixed was over in this corner. If you remember on the last video, as the larger loco went round the corner, it hit onto the shelf there. So let me just include a clip showing the train getting stuck, and then we'll run a train round and I'll show you the clearance that we've got now. So it goes round this corner, there's a low shelf that it does get stuck on, and there it is, right there. So that's as far as that one goes. So as we did last week, just picking the loco up here, running round under the castle, across the inserted piece of track at the back there, down the side here. Now what you'll notice is on this corner here, I've swung this out with a little curve in the straight piece of track in order to get the radii around the corner there, and the train clears the corner quite successfully. And then the next thing is obviously a gauge check. So this is one of the larger locos that I've got, this beautiful Union Pacific 622, and yeah, all in G gauge. This one's actually set up for digital, but I'm running it on analog at the moment. Just let it go around the corner there and we'll pick it up on the other side. Taking it nice and slow. I have run it around the track, and yeah, it does make its way round, but obviously I just want to be absolutely sure. Across the board at the back there, over the joints, okay, and then it makes its way down underneath my cabinet that I've got here. And again, you can see the way that it clears around the corner here. Absolutely perfectly. And of course I have ironed out some of the issues that I had with the 00 track, so let's send a 00 loco round. Oh, wrong controller, sorry. That's the one. Again, just picking it up on this side of the wall. And again, you can see how it makes its way round quite successfully, and no problems on this side. Now one of the things I have done is put this little board that you see here across to sort of link the two sides of the layout together to complete the circuit of the G gauge and the 00 that runs around the outside. And although it still needs a little bit of fettling, some of the levels are not quite there. It does bump as it goes across the joint, but yeah, quite successful going back and forth across. And then just to talk about the wires here, so I've got two connectors either side. You can see one here, one over here. So this connector takes power from the G gauge track here, runs through, makes a connection and runs back to the G gauge track here. It also runs all the way around the room back to the other side, where at the other end I've got a second set of connectors. So again, track to track, then this track right the way across to this track. So I've got all bases covered, that I've got a full circuit of current and yeah, current running across the bridge for both the G gauge that's there and also on this side for the 00 gauge. As you can see, the little connectors that I've soldered onto the track here. So there's a couple of connectors just back here, you can see them just there, and on the G gauge just there. And as I say, the wire runs all the way around, does the same on the other side, and that's pretty much how I've wired up the other end as well. Well, hopefully I've got all the bases covered there, and lots of conductivity. Now these connectors, these are just well, they're from Tamiya. These are the battery connectors for radio control cars. I find these are great because I mean you can put them in and out quite easily with just with one hand. So you know, as a connector for dropping this panel in and out so that I can walk through, it makes it nice and easy. And it's also designed in such a way that I can undo the connectors in at one end, and it will cantilever up, so I can just lift it, walk through and leave these two connected. So yeah, that's been quite successful. And then on to the bulk of my work this week, which is trying to make good on the bits of the old railway that I'm keeping. So at the end here you can see the tracks that I had before. There's this one here and the one up the top there with the loco on. Those two tracks have remained, and obviously before, in the previous video, I showed how they kind of went across and joined up with the other side of the layout on the far side there over the suspension bridge. Obviously without that being there now is kind of redundant. So all I've done is I've just taken the lower track and looped it round behind to pick up on the track that went round the back, and it just simply goes all the way round and comes back out the front here. And then the upper track goes up here across this lovely old double O bridge that I happen to have through the wall, and then comes back round a loop at the back there and rejoins on this side. Now let me just go around the other side of the wall and show you the loop of track. So quite simply, the upper track just comes through the wall, round on the loop here. There's the back of the 009 track. You can just make it out there, and yeah, it just makes its way. They both make their way round on a little circuit at the back here, being clear of the G gauge. Now you'll see down the bottom here the two lines that run through there. They now run underneath the layout, fully accessible, unlike last time, and again they appear through the wall at this end. So these will be two tracks that run all the way round the layout. And if I just go back around the other side of the wall, you can see as those tracks come through the wall, they run underneath this section. Now I haven't added all the scenery here. I've got some trees and some foliage to go in, a little background scenery, but already really pleased with the way that all the tracks are crossing in this area. Yeah, it's looking looks really good when they're running round, and yeah, it's going to be good for some footage when I'm filming. Put the tunnel back in down the bottom here and just closed out that old track with a buffer. And then we've got the new bridge in the front here. This is a Marklin bridge that looks absolutely superb. Really pleased with that. And the new water tower, which I'm really not sure about. I'm not convinced at all. Complete with sound and motion, as you see, but looks completely out of place on my layout. I mean, I've got to repaint it. But yeah, if you want to see a review on that, I did put a video on the channel this week reviewing this, well, less than a masterpiece from Dapol. As I say, I think it looks completely out of place and needs painting, and yeah, as some people have said, you know, it is a little bit Mickey Mouse, a little bit of a gimmick, but you know, good fun anyway. I'm not disappointed in it. I knew what it was going to do. But yeah, it just does look a little bit out of place, so a little bit of work to do there. Not sure about the coaling tower. I've put that back in, but it's hiding too much of the scenery, so that's probably going to be moved once I get more organised on the other side. Now, control wise, what I've done is I've put a Gauge Master control unit in, and this is now controlling the 009 track at the top there. And then as I pan my camera up, I realised I hadn't actually put the train on the track, so that wasn't going to be much of a demonstration, but there you go. You can see it disappears off around the loop at the back and makes its way back through onto the show scene. Not really a lot to that, but still nice. One of my bits of scenery that I've done before that yeah, quite pleased with still looks alright all this time. I mean, this has been on here probably best part of 3 years, maybe even 4 now. And yeah, still looks quite good. Well, with two tracks over this side and not a lot of space for another controller, what I decided to do is to hook this up to the HM6000. So this is very, very similar to the HM7000, only that this allows you to control your analog locos from the app. So it is a different app. Just make sure I do say that, because you need to be careful that you don't use this particular app with your HM7000 locos. That has its own special app. But the HM7000 basically has a chip inside the train and allows them to be digitally controlled, working things like the steam generator and sound. These are straightforward analog locos, just Bluetooth into the box that you see in front of me here with my phone. And then we can just apply some power just by sliding along on the app, and get the two circuits working quite successfully. I'll just pause here for a minute, you'll get some idea of what I mean about the different tracks crossing at the end here. When the two locos get in phase, they do look really good as they come around the top there. There you go. Yeah, quite pleased with that. So two tracks just running round on there. Now the only problem with this is my phone, when it goes into sleep mode or puts the screensaver on, it stops the trains working. So as I'm talking, these trains will stop, I'm sure. So there you go, these two tracks. These are intended for sort of reviewing smaller locos. And there you see the problem with the app is basically when my screensaver kicks in, the locos stop. I have to log back into my phone to get them moving again. So yeah, if you are using this, you probably have to keep tapping the screen, stopping the screensaver coming on, or yeah, indeed turning it off. But yeah, very pleased with how that's worked, and the lines run quite successfully in both directions. Spent a bit of time getting the track just right on these, so hopefully that will work quite well. And then down underneath, I was going to say stop again, down underneath you can see the two tracks that run around the side here, and you can see underneath there I've soldered on some wires onto both tracks, and eventually they'll go right across to this side. And once I've got some of the tracks down on here, we'll link to make sure that I've got a good connectivity along the whole of the layout. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. Lots of infrastructure. It doesn't really actually look a lot on camera, but it's taken me forever to do all of the soldering and wiring and getting the track to where I want it. But just to finish this video off, I've got a little unboxing to do and a small kit to make, so I'm going to make my way over to the bench. Well, as I say, a Metcalfe kit here, which is a Nissen Hut. This is P0415. You see this cost me £7.50. I forget where I got this from, but I had a little while. Let's open it up. Actually, I'm just going to cut it across the top. Right, let's see what's inside the kit. We have got, now I've said this is glazing before, but it's actually part of the packaging, just to go in the front of there. We've got one end with some bits and pieces on there. We've got some windows, some corrugated material, and some formers. And going on the last kit I did with the signal box, I left the formers out. I felt rather foolish. So I will get those in this one. So I'm just taking those out of the frame there. Right, so first of all we're going to put some windows in, and I'm just going to grab my cutting board. So as always with these kits, you just simply cut along the line. You can see here where it says cut. Just run the knife along that blue line, and the part should eject quite simply from the card. Actually cutting through the other piece here. Let me do that again. I bought some knife blades recently and they've been absolutely useless. I don't know where I got my previous ones from, but yeah, they've been these new ones absolutely the worst I've had by a long way. Right, let's cut all these bits out. Okay, all the glazing is the same. We've got 8 windows, so I'm just going to get a pair of scissors to cut those out. Now there's many ways to do the glazing on these kits. This is just the way that works for me. And as I'm going to point out, as I always do, my videos are not instructional, they're just me enjoying the hobby. So yeah, if you want to know the best way or the proper way to put these kits together, there's lots of YouTubers out there that actually know what they're doing and don't make it up as they go along as I do. That's the correct way. There is a matte side and a gloss side, so I'm just putting them all matte side up. Right, so these are the two components that have the windows fitted. Now I'm using super glue, industrial grade super glue. I got this from Toolstation. I say this every time. The only reason I'm using super glue is because I have to, because I'm filming, I want it to go off quickly. These kits do not recommend you use, I think it said, they say PVA or something similar, but because I need the glue to go off quite quickly, I tend to use this just for ease. And what I do is put that on the back there, wipe off any excess, and then literally lower it down like so, and I can get it perfect, perfectly square and perfectly in the middle. And this has always been quite successful for me. Now there is an activator spray with this glue, but as I've said before, don't use that if you're doing glazing, because it does frost the glass, and as I found out last week, so does super glue. I glued my logo back together, managed to frost the glass a little bit, so it's a bit silly thing to do. Right, so putting together the base frame, which is this piece here, and we need to take out the little pieces that are in the middle there. So those come out of there, and then we've got two formers that go inside like so, so I can glue those in. And then these pieces at the end here that have been beautifully laser scored out, and again these are going to slot in these formers across the top, as you can see on the instructions there. So let's do the centre one first. So you need to cut this out if you are putting the doors in, which I will be. You need to just cut this piece through. There's one at the top as well. And then when you glue these together, you need to make sure that the curved edge stays aligned. And sorry, it's this one. So this will be the inside, and then we've got, that's it like that, got the outside and then the inside that goes on as well. Right, so just put a little bit of glue on here. Again, being very careful to make sure the curved edge is lined like that. That looks good. Perfect. I'll just cut these door frames out. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Get rid of that. I've already made a mistake. This should have gone in between. So, yeah, I have made a mistake, but it's no harm done really. So this would have gone in between, or should have gone in between the former and the actual hut. But I'm just going to glue it on the inside like so. Yeah, a little bit of a silly mistake there, but never mind. And again, this is one of the reasons they tell you not to use super glue, is because if you do make silly mistakes like that, you can recover from them. But with the super glue, Once you've glued it, that's it. There's no going back. It really is glued, and yeah, you move on. So that's one of the big drawbacks with using the super glue. Now I've had to make a couple of adjustments to the ends, just cut these slots out, which you wouldn't have to do if you assembled it correctly. But yeah, as I say, I did it slightly wrong, so I've had to make a couple of little modifications. Nothing too major, but just more frustrating than anything. Right, so that one now slots in there, and yeah, these formers now mount into the end wall. Right, there we go. Right, putting the roof on. So this I need to cut out again down here, following the lines. That's just to mark the leading and tailing edge of the roof. So I'm going to do that just with a marker pen. Make sure that's not coming through, that's fine. Let's get rid of the whiteness. Right, so this now just literally wraps around. You fit the base, and we're going to do that by scoring or folding these first. Check the score line. So there's one, and there's the other one. Okay, and then this is going to fit in here, and the roof will wrap all the way over, like so. And join almost in the middle. I think that'll be alright. Okay, right, I'm just going to tack this edge on first. Just in case I get it in the wrong place. I think just for completeness, I'm going to run around this edge as well. And on the centre. Okay. And let's just do one last dry fit. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, just a tiny bit of glue on the top, I think, just to be sure. Yep, spot on. Alright, put a little bit of super glue on here. And this side. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's all the windows done, so I just need to glue these on. A little bit of glue down either side, and these go down the side like that. That's too good. I am not a fan of this thinner card that Metcalfe are using. It's just so flimsy. Once the models are together, it's still fantastic. The build quality is amazing, you know, perfectly good enough. But putting them together, I did prefer the thicker card, definitely. See these corners, little corners here, just, you know, so easy to bend them across. It just means that when you used to put these kits together, they were a little bit forgiving, and now with the thinner card, there's really not a lot of forgiveness in them. A lot of it's to do with the super glue as well. Right, glue these roofs on, and then I'd just like to touch in a couple of the edges with some pens, just with some felt tips. And I've got a little unboxing to do. You do that, and that will kind of wrap this video up. Now there is a chimney that you can put on here. I'm not actually going to put that on here because it doesn't really need it. But should you want to, you can add a chimney on. And the final dormer. Right, and the unboxing that I wanted to do is this one, all sold Rectory from Hornby. I saw this in the Hornby sale, down from, I think it was about half price, down from 40 odd pounds down to 20. £20 for a building. Still quite a lot, I feel, but hopefully this is going to be good quality. I should mention before I start here, R7342. And you can see the pictures on the side of the box, and on the back here you just get the schematic from the different viewpoints. So as I say, this is new, arrived today, and this is the first time I've had a look inside. So nasty polystyrene packaging. Let's have a look at the quality of the model. So I've got coming up on the channel shortly a review of some of the older Scaledale models, particularly the Mine, and there's little things on here. I mean, actually, as a nice little model on the layout, that's not bad at all, you know. Not bad at all. Just getting all the packaging off. but the painting's still very sloppy compared with the models that from a few years ago, the 2007 models. I'll give you an example in a moment, but as the model goes, I mean, I like the kind of weathering on the brick, looks really good. I like these crests across the top of the windows, they're very nice. Glazing from the inside is just quite simply a clear bit of plastic glued on the inside, which is fair enough, it's perfectly adequate. But it's not to the standard of the previous models. Now, in terms of the painting, let's deal with this. So we've got gutters here that are moulded on. They don't come away from the building, and they're just messy up in the corner there. I don't know if you can make that out, but it's just messy. It's along the edge here, it's just had the paint kind of thrown at it. You see some of the brown paint here. There's an oversplash on the side here. It's, you know, it's not a problem too much, but it's just messy. It's just really messy. It's not clean. For such a, you know, beautifully looking model, it's just not really a great deal of care. You look at the door doesn't look too bad. I mean, that's really painted in, but it's not as crisp around the edges. Now let me just go and grab another model. Is one of the coal mine kit, or the coal mine set from Hornby, and if you just compare the crispness of the painting around the windows are separately fitted, there's no bits of plastic stuck on the inside. The door frame is absolutely clean and crisp, there's no overpaint on the roof. It's just finished beautifully. And the gutter, you can see how the gutter comes away from the roof here, and then the actual gutter along the edge there is absolutely perfectly painted. Whereas this one, look how messy it is down the front here, and you can see on the corner how the moulded in drain pipe doesn't come away from the building, it's just part of the building, and it's just not terribly clean, you know. But holistically, both models absolutely look fantastic, but as they say, the devil's in the detail. And yeah, quite frankly, these newer Scaledale buildings, they're just yeah, for the money that they're charging, they really should be painted a little bit better. I've just noticed this bit here, look, can you see the blue paint on the brickwork underneath the gutter? There's actually a blue line running right through there. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. If I move it down into the light, maybe you can see there's actually a blue line where they've painted the gutter onto the brickwork. Now, if I didn't like the model so much and it wasn't so cheap, I would actually be considering sending this back. But yeah, it's cheap enough for me to keep, and I do like the model. I think that looks superb. So I'm going to take this over, put this on the layout along with the little Metcalfe kit, and yeah, sort of wrap this video up, I guess. Well, I've put All Souls Rectory there on the layout, just underneath the church, and obviously you can't see the painting that I was complaining about a moment ago now that it's on the layout. And as I said in the review, you know, holistically it does look fantastic, and I really do like this model. Very fond of it. I was fond of it when I saw the picture, but I'd really think, you know, Hornby, if you're going to start charging lots of money for these models, I just had a look, this one's actually $42.99 full retail. For £40 the painting has to be, you know, really good on these, and it's just not quite there. The Nissen Hut, I've just dropped this down the front here. Now the plan with the Nissen Hut, I plan to have a railway club here. So the little siding that you see running down the front, I'm going to put one of my coaches in there and make that into a clubhouse. And then running around the Nissen Hut here, I will have a Z-gauge line, but that's to come in the future. So yeah, lots of progress being made, but quite slowly at the moment. Well, as I said at the end of the last video, if that sparked any interest in the railway build that I'm undertaking, then please do consider subscribing. And obviously, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. I am trying to grow the channel a little bit, and yeah, it's a hard task on YouTube. to actually grow and get the views on your channel. So every like and every thumbs up I get is really gratefully received. Anyway, with that, I'm going to leave this one there, and yeah, hopefully I'll get another update once I've done a little bit more on the layout, and that'll be on the channel soon. So with that, I'll just say thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.